What's up, goats, and welcome to the Halo 2 2023 review. I don't even know how to describe the amount of hype this game had. Back in 2004, this game was legit everywhere. Master Chief was like Jesus. I mean, everyone knew who this green man was. And for good reason too, since it revolutionized gaming forever by implementing this thing called online matchmaking to consoles, specifically the Xbox. Now, this game is also known for its campaign, which many fans believe to be the best in the series. Are those claims fact or cap? Let's find out. The game starts off with the destroyed Halo ring from Halo 1 and pans over to this jellyfish looking thing called High Charity, the Covenant's main city. It cuts inside to this elite explaining that only one ship destroyed the ring, the Pillar of Autumn, baby. He's explaining to three prophets named Truth, Regret, and Mercy. They're kind of like the Covenant leaders. They're pissed at this elite since the ring was their main goal in what they call the Great Journey, which is like a religious thing. As a punishment, these big monkeys named Brutes escort him away. Then the game cuts to a space station named Cairo above Earth, and this guy gives Chief his new armor.
You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Tell that to the Covenant.
Also, these awesome cutscenes were made by a third-party company named Blur Studios, and they're just fucking amazing. Anyway, you go through the tutorial, which also shows you there's no more health packs, instead opting in for a regenerating health system. And the GOAT Sergeant Johnson shows up and doesn't explain shit.
So, Johnson, when you gonna tell me how you made it back home in one piece?
Sorry, Guns. It's classified.
You take this long-ass tram, and Chief and Johnson get a hero's welcome for destroying the ring.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice.
Pretty much anything Chief says in this game is just iconic. Back on High Charity, the elite, who's also voiced by the GOAT Keith David.
If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed.
He's getting tortured as punishment. Back on Cairo Station, you meet Lord Hood, who's the commander of the Navy. Then you see Cortana looking good as shit. Then some comedy happens.
You look nice.
Thank you.
And while one soldier is getting awarded, the other soldier is getting disgraced. It's a really cool dynamic. You see Captain Keyes' daughter, Miranda Keyes, who also gets a medal, and the elite gets branded with the mark of shame. Cortana locates Covenant ships, and Lord Hood talks about how small the fleet is, and orders Chief to defend the station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
You grab the new default weapon, the battle rifle, which is a goated 3-round burst assault rifle. And instead of the OG assault rifle, you get this new SMG, which you can dual wield. The Covenant break through and you shit on them. You reach this hangar, and this is where I learned in order to have health regen, you need to make the enemies tougher, like one-shot melee tougher. What? Yeah, I don't know if that was a glitch or something, but yeah, he one-tapped me at full health. You see another station named the Malta explode, then the other one follows it. Cortana says the Covenant brought a bomb on board, and that's how they blew it up. So you have to find the one aboard the Cairo station. You shit on more Covenant and reach the armory, where you pick up the shotgun. While not as good as the Halo CE one, it's still pretty powerful. You run into and save Miranda Keyes, and Johnson leads you outside where the elites have jetpacks, and I'm like,
They fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
you traversed in low gravity, and Cortana found the bomb, so you head back inside and see these annoying ass enemies called drones. And I don't care what game it is, flying enemies are just annoying as fuck. No exception. You head down the elevator and cross the bridge. Cortana then tells you a Covenant carrier headed straight for Earth for some reason. You shit on all the Covenant guarding the bomb, and another beautiful cutscene plays where Chief and Cortana disarm the bomb. Miranda wants to attack the fleet, but Lord Hood says no.
Permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Then this sick sequence plays where Chief drags the bomb out and is about to launch that shit into space. He grabs on and starts flying through the battlefield, or battle space, I don't fucking know. Chief guides the bomb right into the middle of a carrier and somehow has enough time to make it out of that sick ass explosion.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
Miranda's ship heads for the surface and the mission ends. That was a pretty sick mission. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. The only thing I didn't like is there wasn't much variety in locations, which you'll see is very diverse in the other missions.
The message just repeats. Regret. Regret. Regret.
Catchy. Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet. Hoorah!
This mission starts with the Marines heading to the Covenant carrier, carrying the Prophet of Regret. Yeah, remember those ball sack looking dudes? One of them is on Earth.
Whoa.
That is a scarab, and it's pretty badass to be honest.
Oh, shit!
You wake up and enter this courtyard and clear it. Now you have to sit here and defend this area for like 5 minutes, which is a pretty long time. Eventually, hunters walk out cool as shit. They work mostly the same, but have a new attack where they slam behind them. Still a pushover though. And this alleyway is infamous because this is where the jackal snipers are. And on legendary, they are no joke. They pretty much just one-shot you no matter what. You fight through the city some more until Johnson is requested by Miranda, so I take a sniper.
Chief, good luck. That hurts, Chief. That hurts real bad.
You keep fighting and pick up this game's magnum.
Look how they massacred my boy.
You find some more Marines and walk through this dark-ass hallway and reach a nice beach on the other side. You even get a warthog, and of course, the Marine on the turret still shits on fuckers. You find some ghosts and you can actually hijack them, which was a new mechanic for this game. Now you have to move through a tunnel, and it's a pretty fun section just shitting on fools. Cortana says the Covenant didn't expect humanity to be on Earth, which is weird. And once you reach the end of this tunnel, the mission ends rather abruptly, but I'll give this mission a 7 out of 10. The part at the beginning where you have to defend the courtyard went on a little long, but it's still a pretty good mission.
Right through us. 50 cal, rockets, didn't do a thing.
This mission takes place right after the last one, and Sergeant Johnson gives you a gift.
Thanks for the tank. He never gets me anything.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
You hop in the tank and of course it moves slow as shit, and you have to cross this whole ass bridge while shitting on ghosts and wraiths and pretty much anything else you see. Once you're across the bridge, you head back into the tunnels, and you don't keep this tank for long since you gotta get out to move on. And this chick gives me a shotgun. Goated. It's pretty dark, but you do what you do best. Shitting on Covenant. You reach this open area and Sergeant Stacker actually drives you around, and you can use the Gauss Hog. And the AI is actually pretty good at driving too. Are you fucking serious? There's some Marines trapped, so you take out a couple Wraiths until you help out this sergeant named Banks. Then the bitch-ass Scarab comes back, and now you have to take it out. The theme starts playing, so you already know something badass is about to happen. And with no cutscenes or anything, you just jump on that hoe and start blasting. And honestly, that's pretty revolutionary for its time. After you take out the pilots, a cutscene plays with Chief looking badass, and Johnson picks you up. The Covenant ship carrying the Prophet of Regret is about to jump, so Lord Hood gives Miranda the green light to chase. It warp jumps and the entire city is destroyed like a nuke. Then the mission ends. I'll give that one an 8 out of 10. The tank part I'm not too excited about, but that Scarab fight was just too damn cool.
How much further must we heft this baggage? Any cell will do? Why not toss it in with this lot? They could use the meat.
This mission starts with the elite getting dragged by brutes to some place called the Mausoleum of the Arbiter. And the Prophet of Truth decides this elite will become the Arbiter instead of killing him. The Arbiter basically goes on suicide missions all for the Great Journey. This particular suicide mission is to take out this heretic leader who is spreading lies about the prophets and the Great Journey. So he dons his new armor and becomes the Arbiter. On the ship, this white armor elite gives a beast motivational speech. But he doesn't like the Arbiter for obvious reasons. They hop out and... What? You get to play as a Covenant? That's kind of dope. These elites run boosts, and the only bad thing about the new graphics is they got rid of the iconic energy sword noise. And instead of a flashlight, you get active camo, but it only lasts for a little since the Arbiter armor is super old. You kill the heretics, and it gets a little confusing who's a good guy or bad guy sometimes. You walk through this obvious Forerunner structure and shit on more heretics. You reach this hangar where you see a weirdo ship that looks like a pancake or something. Tartarus drops some reinforcements and dips again like a pussy. You make your way deeper inside the structure, and it's actually a pretty long walk. You see the heretic leader dip on a gold banshee, so you also go. And this is when I hear the most beautiful music I've ever heard. Anyway, you have to defend Tartarus from banshees for a minute, but I don't care because the music is so good. You land and the mission ends. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It was mostly just walking down hallways, but the music is so fucking good, man. Now the commander smells something bad, but you keep moving, and son of a bitch, it's the damn flood. Now you have to move through this area, and the grunts have some banter.
Me have bad feeling about this. You always have bad feeling. You had bad feeling about morning food nipple.
What the fuck? The heretic leader appears, but it's just a hologram. Then you get ambushed by the flood. Once you deal with them, now it's time for a long-ass elevator ride. And I mean extremely long. You're on this damn elevator for 5 minutes, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you're finally at the bottom, you fight in this cool room until the door opens. A lot of waiting for shit in this mission. You get on this cool looking bridge, and the elites worry about a storm hitting, but the commander says tough shit, go kill the heretics. You walk inside, and the heretic leader barricades himself in like a pussy. And yo, why he drippy though? Arbiter comes up with a plan to snap the cable since this whole facility is hanging from it. The commander orders all the troops back and even gives you his sword, and you set off. You walk up these ramps and you take an elevator up top. You clear the area and start slashing the cables. After the first one, this flood just whoops my ass.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga!
After cutting the third cable, the shit drops.
What's that noise? Ah! What the fuck?
Yo, that shit was so dope. Now you have to make your way back to the heretic leader while falling. Pretty fucking awesome. You make it back, and of course that pussy is in here. You drop down and have to backtrack to the entrance, and a cutscene plays where Arbiter and the heretic are exchanging shots. I mean, hats off to Blur Studios, man. These cutscenes are so fucking good. He escapes in a banshee, so you follow and gets a dogfight for a little bit. Then Arbiter does his best chief impression. You now have to backtrack to the hangar. Yeah, remember the pancake ship? You gotta go all the way back there. Cutscene plays, and the heretic got the lies from...
The Oracle.
Hello, I am 343 Guilty Spark.
Ah, god damn it, it's Guilty Spark. Then the motherfucker pulls a Han Solo and does some tricky shit. Ah shit, how am I supposed to tell which one's the real one? Okay, that was easy. The Covenant sees Guilty Spark as a religious icon like Jesus, so it's kind of a shock when Tartarus treats him like a hunk of metal. Anyway, the mission ends. I'll give that one a 6 out of 10. It has a lot of backtracking and waiting around for shit to open.
Report! Both engine cores have spun to zero. We're drifting.
The mission starts with in amber clad following the carrier, and it sees something.
That is another Halo.
Say what?
Well, shit. Your objective is to still capture the Prophet of Regret and find out why he came to Earth. Now Chief gets dropped onto the ring in an ODST drop pod, and these dumbass Covenant playing around start shooting.
Could we possibly make any more noise? I guess so.
Now you get to see the ODSTs for the first time, and they look pretty badass. Now you have to clear the temple and hold it until reinforcements arrive, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Now Johnson shows up with the Warthog and tells you about a massive temple in the middle of the lake, so that's where you're heading. You reach this weird bridge thingy, so you hop out and head in and see this weird ass hologram of Regret and lower the bridge. Then Johnson drops a tank like a beast and you shit on the Wraith. Now you have to move through these dope ass ruins. You reach the main temple and my tank has a whole seizure or something. You head inside and start killing. Eventually you reach the temple and Cortana warns you about the honor guards like there's some kind of threat or something. Then the mission ends. I give it a 7 out of 10. The ODST drop pods are goated, but the tank part was long as shit.
Wait, go back. That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
Now you have to kill Regret before he activates Halo, but Miranda finds the library. Anyway, Miranda and Johnson go after the index, so you keep moving. This part you just go temple to temple just killing fuckers, till you reach this platform with hunters. You shit on them and wait for weapon drops. Then the platform starts moving across the lake, and that's what you're going to use to get across the water. So you activate the lift, and it's long as shit. It stops like halfway through, but just continues after you clear the area. You reach the temple and clear inside. You head into this elevator, and it's a really cool part, where it's like Bioshock and takes you under the water and shit. We're trying to intercept some comms, and it says they legit didn't know the human homeworld was on Earth. That's some bad luck. Once you get out, you go down this cool hallway and shit on more of these honor guards that are supposed to be hard or some shit. You walk down another cool hallway and go through another elevator. It does the same thing underwater and shit. You actually get to leave the temple area for once, and I get one tap by an elite again. You find more ruins and have to use another one of those long ass lift things. Like, this shit goes slow as fuck. Once on there, a cutscene plays and you see a ton of Covenant ships and High Charity appear. You kill some guards and head inside. You see Regret and it's a boss fight. He's got like a hunter cannon thing, and he can also teleport, but those are his only 2 moves, while also summoning some more of those honor guards. So to damage him, all you have to do is jump on his chair and punch him 3 times. That's it. You know, Halo does a ton of things amazingly, but boss fights are not one of them. Cortana says the fleet is going to fire in our position, so Chief sprints his ass fast as hell and jumps. Then the mission ends with this tentacle thing grabbing Chief. I give this mission a 6 out of 10. It was pretty repetitive, but the music and combat was still fire, and that underwater elevator was cool. This mission starts with the Arbiter reporting to the Prophets, and he sees the brutes taking over the honor guard from the elites, and the commander is not happy about it. Truth then says to the Arbiter that he needs to go get the index. Arbiter then asks Tartarus who killed Regret.
The human that killed the Prophet of Regret. Who was it? Who do you think? The demon is here?
What a badass nickname for Chief. Once Arbiter lands, a weird-ass sentinel almost shits on him, but Tartarus saves the day. Damn, look at High Charity. It's so fucking badass. Your objective is to disable a shield generator, so you open this pillar and head down this fun little slide. You find the first shield generator, and it's being guarded by an enforcer. It looks menacing, but just stay under it and light it up, and it goes down pretty easily. You disable the generator, and reinforcements are able to move in. Tartarus goes to pick you up, but gets cock-blocked by an enforcer, which makes your life a hell of a lot harder, because now you gotta fight Flood. You make your way through the halls, and the humans are already here looking for the index. After fighting in the same looking hallways for a while, you head down another one of those fun slides. Once you reach the bottom, you kill more Flood and head down a slide for a third time. Luckily, that's the final time. Then you see the in-amber clad crash landing, but your only objective now is to reach the index. You now have to defend the area until reinforcements arrive with the commander, and the Flood make a really scary noise.
Let's hold this camp until reinforcements.
Then the mission ends. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. The slides were cool, but it was just walking through the same hallways over and over.
In the center of this zone is a sacred icon critical to the great journey. I must find it.
Now you just have to head to the center of this complex, and these motherfuckers just take all the ghosts. Luckily, you can just kick them off of it. This part is pretty awesome because it's an all-out war with badass music. You go through Forerunner structures and snowy biomes just killing any Flood you see. Oh, and they can drive vehicles, by the way. You get a tank, but not for long, since it's easier in a ghost to run past all the enemies. You eventually reach the in-amber-clad crash site and head inside. Of course, there's Flood and Sentinels inside, so you handle that shit. You exit the ship and keep moving towards the center. And I don't know what it was about this part, but my luck was so bad trying to get through this door. First, I get shit on by the Flood inside a tank somehow, then fall into a goddamn pit. And finally, I run myself over with my own ghost, which I didn't even know was possible. Once inside, a cutscene plays where the commander stays to take care of the Flood like a beast. Then Tartarus comes and insults him like a bitch. Now is another lift section, and it's pretty damn long. You pretty much just spend 5 minutes on this lift, and the Flood occasionally attack you. You eventually get off, and the Vietnam flashbacks intensify. Lucky you don't have to go through 4 floors of this shit, and a cutscene plays where Miranda tries to get the index. She almost falls, but Johnson saves her. Then the Arbiter shows up.
How you doing?
They fight for a while until Tartarus grabs Miranda, and Tartarus wants to murder all of the elites.
When the prophets learn of this, they will take your head when they learn. Fool. They ordered me to do it.
Then the mission ends. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. The beginning area in the snow was awesome, but the lift part dragged it down a bit for me.
What is that?
This mission starts with this gross ass fucking thing called the Grave Mine, and he has both Master Chief and the Arbiter captive. Basically, this thing is the controller of the Flood and has captured the monitor of this Halo ring, which is Installation 05. He also has the Prophet of Regret's body somehow. He argues with the monitor and Regret gets sent back to the cock and ball torture chamber. Basically, Gravemind and Chief tell Arbiter that Halo is meant to eradicate all life and not some religious object. The Gravemind knows about the index, so he teleports Chief to one spot and Arbiter to another. Chief gets teleported to High Charity.
And the Flood can stop it. Boo.
Oh shit, nigga!
And this is the first time you fight brutes in the game, and they have this special ability to go berserk. Once you leave the council chamber to chase after truth, it gets a little repetitive, but the music is still on point. and it's refreshing fighting a new enemy this far into the game. You also get introduced to this new weapon called the Brute Shot, which is just a grenade launcher with a massive blade on one side. After walking through the halls fighting tons of Covenant, you go down this trippy grav lift, and Cortana locates some Marine prisoners, so you rescue them. You head back up the trippy grav lift and walk through the same looking hallways from before. You shit on some hunters and head outside and see the first Brute and Elite kill each other, which is starting a civil war. And this Elite just absolutely shits on me. You move through this weird ass park or some shit and see an Amber Clad flying in. Then you take this cool bridge and see the entire city of High Charity, and it's fucking awesome. After fighting for a long ass time, you reach this final chamber, and the civil war is in full effect now. You have elites, hunters, and grunts facing off against brutes, drones, and jackals. It's pretty cool. You reach the end, and a cutscene plays where the Flood were actually on the Amber Clad, and one actually gets on Mercy, and the Snake Truth leaves him to die. Then the mission ends. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was cool being in High Charity, but definitely the longest mission in the game, and got a bit repetitive toward the end. This mission shows you where the Arbiter got teleported to, and the first thing you see is a bunch of your fellow elites dead by the hands of the brutes, so you just smack them. So now you have to make your way to the control room, while of course shitting on all the brutes you see, since, you know, they kind of massacred your whole race. You walk through this Forerunner structure while clearing it for a while, until you get outside, and these motherfuckers thought they could ambush me. You grab a ghost and hear some beast-ass music. Anyway, you make your way through this canyon when I die a couple times to bullshit. First, I died to a sticky grenade, a brute Kobe'd at me. Fucking bullshit. Then, when speeding past all the enemies, Arbiter had a heart attack or something. I legit do not know how I died here. You reach this open lake area and it's filled with snipers, brute shots, and shotguns, so it's a pretty fun area to get past. No sarcasm, it's pretty fucking annoying. Once you get past there, the mission ends with the Arbiter getting pulled up on by a Wraith, but it's actually the commander. You see Tartarus bring Miranda into the control room, and the mission ends. I'll give this mission an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed most of it, but that one area really shit on it for me. It's also sad to see all the elites murdered. Rip my boy elites. This mission, back playing as Chief, he interrogates Mercy, and he says Truth is going to Earth, and that big triangle thing is a Forerunner ship that Truth is going to use to escape. And Cortana says if Tartarus activates the ring, she'll activate Amber Clad's self-destruct, like the Pillar of Autumn in Halo 1. Wow, so they just stole that idea from Halo 1. But she wants to stay behind because she doesn't want to risk a remote detonation. Then a shitload of Flood crash lands, so you just gotta fight the Flood. And they got shotguns and shit now, so that's fun. This mission is great because you have to backtrack through the halls of High Charity again, but fight Flood. The first new area you get to is a cool looking bridge room where you have to go on this weird curved grav lift. After that, it's more of the same rooms except it's dark as fuck, and even more so in the OG graphics. I died to another Flood shotgun, and you go up this elevator. You reach the Prophet's private quarters and clear the area. Then my dumbass walks around for a minute before finding the right door. You head up another trippy grav lift and have to walk through a 3-way battle between the elites, Flood, and brutes. A cutscene plays where Chief hops into that green beam of energy, and it looks dope as fuck, and he barely makes it onto the ship. Then the mission ends. I give that one a 6 out of 10. It was basically the other mission, but with Flood. The ending was cool though.
What is that place?
Where the counselors were meant to watch the consecration of the icon. The start of the great journey.
This is the final mission in the game, and you play it as the Arbiter. And you have to get into the control room and stop Tartarus. You hop into the Wraith, and some beast-ass music plays. Now, the Wraith isn't my favorite vehicle in the game, but it gets the job done, and has a really fast fire rate for some reason. Thankfully, you're not in it for too long, since once you reach the Scarab, you have to get out and take a side path. You find some barricaded brutes, but with the Hunter's help, shit's light work. You reach this room where the brutes are holding prisoners, and you can free them while fighting, by shooting the shield things at the bottom. You get outside and help Johnson out, and he takes control of the Scarab, so he proposes a truce to stop Tartarus. You grab a Banshee and have to cover Johnson and the Scarab from Wraiths, turrets, and of course other Banshees. Once you reach the end of this canyon, Johnson fires the Scarab cannon and breaks open the door to the control room. You head inside and I get shit on by a sticky grenade instantly. You go down this long ass hallway and a cutscene plays where Tartarus is trying to force Miranda to activate the ring. Arbiter steps in and tries to reason with Tartarus, and even with Guilty Spark's explanation, Tartarus is just a monkey.
The great journey has begun, and the brutes, not the elite, shall be the Prophet's escort.
Aw yeah, final boss fight of the game. Except this one also kind of sucks. Basically, you just have to run around until Johnson decides to shoot Tartarus with his rifle, and after that, it only takes a couple of shots to end it. Did I mention Halo boss fights are pretty bad? Miranda does some parkour like a beast and stops the Halo from firing. Well, it fires, but it's just a little one. Then Guilty Spark explains that all of the other Halo rings can be activated remotely from one place.
Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark? Of course.
And where, Oracle, is that?
It's on Earth if you didn't figure that out. Then Chief contacts Lord Hood since they're in Earth's range now.
Anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Okay, badass way to end the game. There's one last cutscene of Cortana, and the Gravemind wants to ask questions. I'll give this mission a 10 out of 10. It's got vehicle combat, on-foot combat, aerial combat, perfect music, and a badass ending. Definitely one of the best missions in the game. Well, that was Halo 2. This game is still, after so many years, one of the best video game stories of all time, showing not only Chief's story unfolding, but also the Arbiter, and the elites as well. Seeing how all the Covenant was tricked by the Prophets to hate humans and want to activate the Halos kinda makes me feel bad for the aliens trapped in the lies. It had a great villain in Tartarus and the Prophets, and the cutscenes in the remaster are just goated. A game that comes to mind when playing it is Last of Us 2. Both games put you in the shoes of the villain, and by the end you actually care about the characters. Halo 2 did a way better job in executing in my opinion, but we won't talk about that. I'll give this campaign a solid 8 out of 10. Some parts felt pretty long and drawn out, but overall a very solid campaign. Now where do I even begin about the multiplayer? If I had to describe it in one word, it would be revolutionary. Halo 2 was one of the first games to have online matchmaking where you could just hit a few buttons and boom, you're in the game. This, along with Xbox Live, pioneered the online gaming space for consoles, and even had cool things like proximity chat, dual wielding, a competent ranking system, and pre/post game lobbies, where you could talk to other players. Basic things that games nowadays don't even get right. Sure, it also had its downfalls like button combos, and if you weren't using the battle rifle, you lost, but it's still really fun to jump back in this many years later. So guys, that was my review on Halo 2. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, and be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.